What's going on, people of the interweb? On today's installment of What Can Cam Screw Up, we've got this 03 F250 that I had talked about briefly in that Chevy Malibu video. So this one, I did shocks, and I put new batteries in it per the customer's request. And then I also put some nice new shocks on it. I didn't film any of that because I mean there's no reason to. It's pretty boring. It's a pretty basic job. But the real reason it's here is for a charge air cooler. And this guy is going to help him out a ton. So he has the stock charge air cooler in this thing yet. So I don't know if you guys can see what I can do here. It's kind of hard to see in the truck. But anyway, this passenger side part of the tank is blown out. And that's because Ford, when they made these, they basically made them with, as you can see right there, they have plastic end tanks. And then they just have like these little clips, which you can see back on this side. See those little clips? And those are what holds the end tank onto the actual core of the charge air cooler. And under boost, a lot of times those will blow out. They just can't hold up. And an OEM replacement from Ford, I got quoted like $1,200 for one of those, and it's not an updated one. It's the same plastic tank charge air cooler. Well, thankfully, aftermarket automotive products in today's day and age are fantastic, and I was able to get this through a local company for right around $300. So significantly cheaper, and it's a completely TIG welded end tank. The guy that sold it to me said that they had it on a truck that made, man, I don't know, maybe I'm getting this wrong, but he had like 85 or 90 pounds of boost, and it held up just fine. Anyway, so for what this guy's application is going to be, this thing will work out just fine. He's just looking for something to tow with. He's got a big fifth wheel camper, nothing crazy. So anyway, we'll get this thing unboxed and see what we got dealing with here. I've never actually used one of these before. Ooh, that thing's heavy. Give me a second. Yeah, so that's a much nicer unit. Pretty stout, and it's all factory mounting locations from what he said as well. So anyway, we'll go ahead and get that thing tossed in there, and then I'll take you guys for a ride and we'll take a look at some numbers for the turbo and see what we can't get from there. It looks like we can just undo these two bolts, this one and this one. Maybe these two on the other side. And I think if we just pull this cross member out, pull these top supports or top rubber mounts for the radiator, and then I think the whole charge air cooler will come up through there, undo the hood latch. So, trying to be nice. He has a nice chrome bumper, so make sure we don't scratch it. But anyway, so we'll see what happens. Okay, well, I was right about one thing today. I screwed something up, and that is I don't know how to work a camera. So I did that first little time lapse, and then I had to stop and go get something, so I went to go restart it and got done pulling it all out, and it never started. So anyway, here it is on the ground. This is the stock one that came out, and we're just going to do a little side-by-side comparison here. Let me grab a flashlight a minute. Okay, so you can see here plastic end tanks on there, and these are all nice solid welded. And then the actual issue is right here. Let's see if I can get a better angle of it. See right there? That is where it's blown out at. See, they have just an O-ring that seals the end tank to the actual core. So, and this one's got an awful lot of oil coming out of it too, which I know I drive a 7.3, and I know that thing has always got quite a bit of oil in it, and I know the Duramaxes do too, some of the earlier ones. I don't know if that's just the design and if that's what they do, or if that actually means that that turbo is on its way out. We can probably pull the intake off of it and then feel the shaft, see how much end play or how much play there is in the shaft. You're supposed to have a little bit, because there's a special scientific term for it that I don't know, but the oil takes up the clearance on the bearing, so there's always a little bit of play. But anyway, so the old one's out. We're gonna go ahead and drop this new one in and see what happens. All right, well, if there's one thing I will be consistently good at, it's screwing up the camera work, but whatever. I'm a mechanic, not a camera guy. My phone died again, and which is fine because it actually worked out pretty good because I got quite frustrated with this charge air pipe and down here. So the way it fits honestly just sucks. You have to have it absolutely perfect. They make the pipe just barely long enough. I mean, it's the end of the flange is just sticking through the boot where the clamp goes around it, and it's the same down here. I mean, really, you need that pipe to be about a ½ inch longer on each end, or a longer boot, one of the two. Anyway, so I got that all taken care of. I'm not going to pull the fresh air side off of the turbo because it's going to be used lightly until tow season, and then before tow season, I'm going to recommend that we pull that turbo off and then clean it and check it, because these are a variable geometry turbo, and they have vanes in there that open and close with, there's an actuator that tells them what position to be in, and it helps for better throttle response. Basically, there's not as much lag time for your boost. And basically over time, there's a unison ring in there that will get wore out, and they just get dirty in general. So if he doesn't want to have any breakdowns towing this summer, that's something that can usually be done for, somewhere around $300-400, I think, depending on what kind of kit you get, or depending on how wore out the whole turbo itself is. But anyway, so we're gonna get in it here and then go for a ride, see what it does. Also, under here, so this truck here has an aftermarket remote start. So now when I put batteries in this thing, I learned something that I didn't really think I ever would. I pulled both batteries off at the same time, all the cables, and I really didn't have the batteries out that long, but it was enough to where when I tried to go restart the truck, it would not start. For whatever reason, it reset the programming inside that remote start, and it basically was not telling the relay to allow the starter to engage. So just in the future for you guys, just pull off one battery at a time so it doesn't lose all its memory. I would have thought that it would have had some kind of keep alive memory in it, but I was wrong, I guess. So good thing I know a guy that does remote starts and stuff for a living, so he hooked me up and got it all fixed. But anyway, let's go for a ride. All right, before anybody freaks out, I did secure the battery cable and the tray before we go on our test drive. Okay, so hopefully we can see this. Okay, so what we're looking for is, once you get in to this, and it's going to depend on if you have a scanner or what kind you have, but you're going to want to go into engine, and then you want to go under data display. Yes. Oh. Okay, and then we want to go under the turbocharger. So then what we're looking for is, let's see here, where is it? Can't remember what it's called on these. Okay, yep, VGT. Okay, so what this is right here is this is your variable geometry turbo. Oh gosh. Of course, duty cycle. Gosh, what a terrible time to get a blank. Variable geometry turbo duty cycle. Basically what that is that's how hard the actuator is working, I believe, to open the vanes when you're driving. And what you don't want is for it to be stuck at, I believe, 15% or 85%. And it should be somewhere in between those and should be fairly steady upon acceleration and etc. So I will try and do the best I can to videotape this, but I'm also going to be driving. So anyway, let's give it a shot. What's going on, guys? So I've been super busy, and it's over a week later, and I'm finally recording this last section for that Power Stroke video. Once again, I don't know what happened. I either messed up the camera work or I don't know. So anyway, the whole drive, everything looked great. There were no boost leaks. It had great power. Yeah, and the VGT response was fantastic. It never stuck one way or the other. So at this current time, I don't think that there's a reason to pull that off and clean it. I just recommended it to the customer that maybe before camping season happens for them, because they like to travel quite a few hours away from home, you know, to go camp and whatnot for weekends and weeks and whatnot, that maybe we should pull that off to clean it. But I'll leave that up to them, and he can do with that what he wants. So the reason why it took me so long is because my wife and I moved, and we moved to a new house, but I have a little shop at home now, so it's nothing crazy. I think it's just a little 30 by 30 or a 25 by 30, I can't remember actually. But it's better than what I had before, so it's nice. I can actually do my own projects at home now after hours, instead of having to find a space to work on it and stuff like that. So that's going to be super nice. So just give you a quick tour. So this is just my nice little workbench area. It's got a nice light over it. I have a little solvent tank and a used oil drum. Can even fit my tractor in here, which is super nice. And for now, I've got just a little ready heater here, which works very good. It heats the shop super nice, but it's super loud. So eventually I will be plumbing in that wood stove. It looks like there's some pipe already going through the roof. So that I will use eventually. Got a little engine stand and a hoist, because eventually I've got my 5.9 Cummins in a storage trailer right now, and I'll be bringing that here to start working on that. And then I've got two 4.3 liter V6s from the 90s that came out of a couple more cruisers, I think. That's what the guy said, and I got to go through those too. So I'll do some videos on those. Got some tool storage here. And then the owner of the house, he actually left me a gun cabinet out here, which is great, because now that means I can go buy more guns and put those in there. Yeah, so anyway, it's nothing crazy big, but I love it because I've never had one before. So you guys will probably be seeing quite a few more videos out of here. Anyway, I just wanted to give you an update on the Ford, and thanks for watching.